Alright, hey guys, so there's been a new bundle and I thought I'd just share my thoughts on it. This is the humble Capcom, Sega, and Atlus bundle, which means there's going to be some pretty good games thrown into the mix. For $1, you get Rulers of Realm, Xenoclash 2, Sonic Adventure 2, Bionic Commando, and Citizens of Earth. I definitely recommend picking up the $1 tier if you are missing any of these games. I'll come back to this a little bit later. The Beat the Average tier, which is currently at $6.25, includes Renegade Ops Collection, Sonic Generations Collection, Resident Evil 4, Dead Rising, and the Tesla Effect. And then moving on to tier 3, you get Motorsport Manager and Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition for $12, along with all the other games, of course. So my thoughts on this bundle: I really think it's a great bundle overall, especially the $1 tier. Sonic Adventure 2 is one of my, actually I think it is my favorite Sonic game of all time. It has a fantastic soundtrack and it looks amazing on PC, and I absolutely loved playing this on the GameCube way back when. But definitely a great experience, and if you do decide to play it, make sure you check out the Chow Garden. That is a super charming little like mini game thrown into the game. So Sonic Adventure 2 is excellent. Bionic Commando is a third-person adventure game. Came out on the 360, I think, many years ago. I never played it, but it looks alright. I sort of wonder what it looks like on PC. This trailer doesn't do it justice just because it's very low resolution, but if you can upscale the resolution, I'm sure it'll be a pretty fun experience. Citizens of Earth is a turn-based JRPG with a lot of comedy. It has a very humorous story that goes along with it. I haven't played it, so I really can't say too much about it, but it looks nice from the trailer. Moving forward, Xenoclash 2 is a first-person beat-em-up, I suppose. There is some shooting involved. It's sort of like I guess you could say it's a first-person shooter, but you mostly use melee combat, which makes it a little bit different from most games. It's a very, very strange game. You're on like some sort of alien world. The whole world is just very abstract, and you're fighting the strangest creatures, but at the same time, it's actually pretty entertaining. And it's one of those games that, I don't know, I just think is really interesting, and you probably will as well. It's actually a pretty good game, even though it doesn't look that great. And then Rulers of Realm is a pinball game with some RPG elements thrown in. You're actually like going on like some RPG adventure, and you're like fighting enemies through pinball, which is unique to say the least. So for $1, the $1 tier is definitely worth it. I really can't say that enough. You should pick up the $1 tier if you can. The Beat the Average tier is where things get a little interesting. It really depends on how much you are interested in these genres. Renegade Ops is a very action-packed twin-stick shooter. I played this a long time ago. I think I made a video on it. I'm not entirely sure, but this game is really fun. Let me just skip to some gameplay and you can kind of see what it's all about. Very, very enjoyable, especially if you're into twin-stick shooters. I would definitely recommend playing this with a controller. Makes it far more enjoyable, but you're basically driving around in like a car, and you have a machine gun and you can fire like missiles and stuff. Very action-packed and quite a bit of fun. So moving forward, Sonic Generations. I've never played Sonic Generations, but it kind of reminds me of Sonic Adventure 2. It's a 3D Sonic game, and it looks enjoyable. I'm not sure how much people enjoy it. It does say it has very positive reviews, which means 93% of people enjoyed this game, so I'm sure it's excellent, and it's definitely something I plan on playing in the future. But there's another great Sonic game, and then Resident Evil 4 is probably the best game in this bundle, at least in my opinion. I played Resident Evil 4 on my channel last year and I absolutely loved it. One of the best horror games of all time, at least in my opinion. I haven't played too many horror games, but it's an excellent game. The controls are very hard to get used to at first, but the more you play it, the more you'll start to realize that the controls actually make the game a little bit more scary, and it makes it really hard to aim and hit the enemies, which, I don't know, there's like a level of skill involved which you'll probably love at the end of the game once you get used to it. But overall, the story is great, the atmosphere is great, and it's just a really enjoyable horror game, a third-person shooter. So the next game, Dead Rising. This is the first Dead Rising, which is pretty old at this point, but I don't think the first Dead Rising has ever been bundled before, so that's interesting. But everyone seems to love the first Dead Rising. I'm not really the biggest fan of Dead Rising. It's a zombie slaying game. You're in a mall and you're just killing zombies in funny ways. There's all sorts of like wacky weapons, and the story's kind of funny. But yeah, there's Dead Rising. Pretty cool. And the last game, Tesla Effect, is a FMV game, FMV adventure, which means there's probably not a whole lot of actual gameplay. And there's actually like these real life cutscenes. That's what FMV is, but I don't know what to think about this. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So I'm not sure if you would buy the bundle just for this game. But the rest of the games are definitely worth it. Let's see. $5.25 for all these games. I would say it's worth it if you actually want and actually play some of these games. Like Resident Evil 4 is definitely worth it for $5. Like I would pay $5 for Resident Evil 4. And same with Sonic Generations. If you're a big Sonic fan, if you're a big Dead Rising fan, like these three games in the middle are what's worth it. Renegade Ops is really fun if you're into twin stick shooters. Probably wouldn't say it's worth more than like $2, but overall the beat the average tier is pretty good. The third tier, I'm not so sure about. Devil May Cry 4 and Motorsport Manager. I don't think most people are going to buy the bundle for Motorsport Manager unless you're really into management simulators, but I think these games are really boring, so I'm just going to skip that. So you're paying an extra, what, like close to $6 for Devil May Cry 4. Probably not worth it unless you're a big Devil May Cry fan. I would say this game probably isn't worth more than $5. I have it for the Xbox 360, and I really didn't enjoy this one. I felt like it was a little bit, I don't know. It's definitely not as good as the newer Devil May Cry game, but it's decent. It has a great combat system, and it's pretty fun once you learn how to use the combos and so forth. But I really don't think this is the best Devil May Cry game by any means. So I wouldn't suggest getting the third tier, but the rest of the tiers are pretty good. So that's about it. Those are my thoughts. Definitely pick up the $1 tier, and if you're interested in the games, pick up the beat the average tier. I should also mention just one last time that the Humble Monthly for next month includes Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you decide to subscribe to the Humble Monthly, you can instantly grab Rise of the Tomb Raider. The monthly costs $11 to $12 a month, and you can just start playing Rise of the Tomb Raider right now if you decide to subscribe. I'll have a referral link in the description below if you guys want to help me out if it's your first time subscribing to the Humble Monthly. But if you're not familiar with it, it's basically a loot crate of Steam games every month, and they usually have some pretty good games. You can scroll down and see what the previous months were, and typically they are definitely worth it. There's some good games that are always thrown into these monthlies. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this bundle, and let me know in the comments below what you think about it, and if I was missing anything, or if you think some of these games are better than what I said, then be sure to let others know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.